Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to the Autumn 2021 sneak peek. So here we go, we're moving the bandwagon on once again. We released our summer 2021 forecast a few hours ago. If you haven't yet seen it yet, it's a very, very interesting forecast. So I won't give any spoilers in this one, just check it out and see what you think to our summer 2021 forecast that was released like a few hours ago. But now the long range bandwagon is moving on. We never stop at GavsWeatherVids, so now we're moving on to autumn, of course. And so in a couple of weeks' time, not next week, we're going to have to wait 2 weeks before we start the autumn updates. But in a couple of weeks' time, certainly the 13th of June, we will begin our autumn 2021 updates. And I'm going to talk you through the things that we're going to be looking at through this season of autumn updates, and we will, of course, be having a look at a few models at the end of the sneak peek as well to see what the long range is showing at the moment for autumn 2021. If you're enjoying our videos on our channel at the moment, please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. As I say, the summer forecast was released earlier on today. GavsWeatherVids Sunny Roundup was also released around lunchtime. It can be live streamed on 6 o'clock. Such a massive day at GavsWeatherVids today. Absolutely enormous day. So I just hope you're enjoying all of the content. Right, so let's turn off the webcam then. So we're going to start off with solar activity. So of course, activity always plays an important part within our long-range updates. This is how the solar disk is looking on outside of the disk today. When I'm recording this, actually, on the 25th of May. So activity is beginning to increase now. A few sunspots starting to appear. We actually went up to moderate levels of solar activity a few days ago. So definitely we are sort of 18 months into solar cycle 25. We're beginning to see solar activity starting to pick up after a very, very slow start, solar cycle 25, and the sun beginning to wake up from its slumber. And so, of course, we will be trying to answer through reanalysis what autumns are like at this point in the solar cycle. You know, when you're around a couple of years in. So we'll be looking, of course, at solar activity and autumns for this point of the solar cycle later on in our autumn updates. We'll be focusing on the oceans, of course, as we always do. So we've got a very, very warm Atlantic Ocean at the moment, really warm up towards Greenland and pretty warm through the tropical Atlantic as well. Will we get a big hurricane season? So what does that warm Atlantic Ocean mean for the autumn? That'll be interesting, won't it? But will we get a big hurricane season again this autumn? I think we might, and if we do, will that have an impact on the weather conditions in the UK during the autumn? Remember, what hurricanes do is they take a heat north. So could we have a warm autumn, but maybe a wet autumn with lots of ex-tropical storms and hurricanes pushing northwards? We've also turned things pretty warm here in the northeastern Pacific again. Will that last through the autumn, or will the arc turn and it begins to go colder again? Further south, we have got a cold PDO signature here of America, so that you would have thought, imply that this area is likely to start cooling down again. We'll have to see, whether there's any sign of that through the summer. And then, of course, the important factor will be the ENSO, region. So at the moment, we're sort of at ENSO neutral. We've come out of the La Nina that we have through 2020, 2021. We're starting summer 2021 at ENSO neutral. Will we stay at ENSO neutral during this summer, or will we see La Nina starting to re-emerge? If we do see La Nina re-emerging, we will attempt to answer through reanalysis, whether what that could mean for the autumn with a second year La Nina. Could we even see El Nino getting going? Who knows? But we'll keep a very, very close eye on what's happening through the ENSO region during this autumn. Of course we will. CFSV2 is forecasting that we will stay around ENSO neutral through the autumn, just maybe enter borderline La Nina with the ensemble mean. That's a black dash line just here. That wants to get us to borderline La Nina, down to half a degree below average, all important half a degree below average into this autumn. So ENSO neutral to borderline, weak La Nina being predicted by CFS-V2. However, CanSIPS is a little bit more bullish about La Nina. This is VC sub-temperature anomaly forecast from CanSIPS via Tropical Tidbits for autumn 2021, and that's going for like a central and western base weak to borderline moderate La Nina with these darker blue colours just here. So CanSIPS wants to take us into a La Nina. CFS-V2 says that the autumn will have like ENSO neutral to borderline weak La Nina. We'll keep an eye on it and see what happens. The ENSO part of our updates, I would have thought, will be quite late on, probably in August, but we will keep a very close eye on that. And of course, we're also transitioning into an easterly QBO. We think we are. Last year, we had a failure of the easterly QBO. This is from NASA, so I won't explain this, but if you watch GavsWeatherVids Sunny Roundups and whatnot regularly, you'll know what this is showing. These are easterly QBO phases just here. I've got the green, blue colours, westerly QBO phases just here as we're beginning this summer of 2021. So as we're beginning our autumn updates, I suppose we are just about still in a weak westerly QBO phase. However, the easterly QBO is developing and developing and also descending in the stratosphere. Look at that curve downwards, like a nice smooth sort of curve downwards from the stratosphere to the troposphere, 30 to 50 HPA. If we zoom in, you can see the descension of the ECQBO a little bit better. So there it is, quite clearly strengthening with those darkening blue colours there at the top of the atmosphere and stratosphere, but also now starting to descend into the troposphere. And so we think that the autumn of 2021 will be a developing, probably by that point, relatively strong easterly QBO. So again, through reanalysis, we're going to attempt to answer, and ask and answer what autumns are like when we have a developing and strengthening easterly phase of a quasi-biennial oscillation. Of course, we'll be keeping an eye on the weather patterns as they develop through the summer, and through reanalysis, we'll see what those weather patterns could lead to into the autumn. So this is a classic example of a reanalysis chart. This is the 500 millibar reanalysis for summer 2020. Last summer, very strange and bizarre summer, had quite a lot of northern blocking up over the Arctic, but also had high pressure through eastern and northern Europe. A trough of low pressure was over us, and another area of high pressure was to our west. It's a very strange summer with everything going on. Sometimes last summer it was extremely hot with the air coming up from the south, so regular heat spikes, but also often wet and windy and really cool as well. It's a really bizarre summer for 2020. Will we see anything like it for 2021? This is how May looks so far in terms of 500 millibar height anomaly. So this is May 2021 so far. You see it's a very, very unsettled May, a wet May with deep, deep low pressure over northern Western Europe, still with northern blocking combined as well. So jet stream was pushed southwards. It was a very cool and wet May that we have had this year. I would have thought one of the first things we'll look at, is what autumns are like after cool and wet Mays. I'm sure we will look at that through reanalysis. This is spring so far as well. This will be one of the first things that we look at in our autumn updates, autumns, I should say, following. It's a very long night. Well, I've been recording, so I'm really tired now. So one of the first things we will be looking at will be autumns following quite cool and blocked sort of springs, I suspect. So this spring we have had quite a lot of northern blocking around Greenland and in the North Atlantic with low pressure across northern Europe. So you see the wind has regularly been in from the north. Quite a cool spring. This one, I think, our coolest spring since 2013. It was relatively dry early on, but got wetter later on. And we will explore through reanalysis through the first update or two, May and spring data as like our starting point for autumn 2021 updates. And of course, as well as all of the autumn updates that we'll be doing every week from August 3rd, from June the 13th. We will be looking at the season models as well. Be glad to get this one wrapped up. I'm getting very tired. So just go through a few of these long-range models for you right now. So we'll begin with CanSIP's, and then we'll end this little sneak peek for autumn 2021. So this is CanSIP's mean sea level pressure anomaly with just like a classic westerly spring, really. High pressure to our south, a little bit of low pressure to the north, winds in from the west. So it's rather typical and Atlantic driven. Temperature anomalies from CanSIP's for autumn 2021 are no better than average, so not particularly exciting temperature wise and not particularly exciting precipitation wise either. All just looking very, very average, really, for autumn 2021 from CanSIP. CFS-V2 looks rather more interesting. This would be 700 millibar height anomaly from the CFS-V2. Go for a mid-Atlantic ridge extending up towards Greenland. Below average heights there, with a trough of below average heights over Scandinavia. You will think that's likely to bring the wind in from the north. So the CFS-V2 could be hinting at a bit of a northerly autumn, which would be quite a cold season, of course. The temperature anomaly looks like that. Warm anomalies are pushed well away from us into the far eastern part of Europe. The rest of Europe has no signal, which for this model could be a little bit cooler than you tend to expect, because normally 9 times out of 10 the CFS will be going to town on warm temperatures. And the precipitation anomaly from CFS V2 looks rather wet as well, but notice the highest rainfall totals are like through central and western parts of Europe, so it implies that there's like a trough of low pressure, I think, through here, with a ridge likely to be up here that could well be bringing in a wind maybe from the north to northeast. Of course, autumn is a transitional season, so if we get northerly northeasterly winds in September, not overly cool, but if we get those in November, watch out. We might get some snow early on in the autumn if CFS is right. ECMWF, mean sea level pressure anomaly for autumn 2021 looks like that. So it has high pressure centred over and just to the west of the country. It's relatively dry, but possibly quite cool sort of autumn, with winds tend to be in from like a northwesterly, a west to northwesterly direction. The temperature anomaly for the autumn from the ECM model is again around average, no signal, which again for long-range model is a little bit cooler probably. And also no particular signal for precipitation, though it is driving average just to our west, because that's where the high pressure is sitting, of course. The Beijing Climate Centre, 500 millibar height anomaly, looks like that. Remember, it's very, very early days for these long-range models, so it's going for quite a big area of high pressure around Newfoundland. It also has some above average heights just to our east. So you're probably going to get a dip in the jet stream through here, doing something a little bit like that. With the jet. Let's have a look at 200 millibar height anomaly. So that one again shows the high pressure around Newfoundland. There is a ridge extending into the UK. It does seem to back to Scandinavia to some degree, though. So that could bring some easterlies into northern and western Europe. There's got to be some low pressure somewhere. That's my basic rule of thumb with these charts when they look like this. Where's the low pressure? There's got to be low pressure. It's autumn. You're not going to have autumn without low pressure within the northern latitudes. So my guess is that we've got high pressure there. We'll have low pressure through here, I would have thought. The jet stream doing something a bit like that. But, you know, we could be bringing in easterly winds through there, and it is possible we might even start to send the jet stream through there. So what looks like a relatively benign, not all that interesting 200 millibar height anomaly, you know, with the high pressure backing up towards Scandinavia, it might start to pull wind into the east, which could be a little bit cold for the autumn. But temperature anomaly is no better than average, so just close to, maybe slightly above average, but close to average, really, with the temperature anomaly. And the precipitation anomaly is rather drier than normal as well from the Beijing Climate Centre for autumn 2021. And then finally, we've got the UK Met. Now, this is quite an interesting one as well. This is a little bit similar to the CFS V2, interestingly. This isn't for the full autumn period, but I have to say that. This is for August, September, October, so just shy this month of the autumn. But it is going, the mean cell pressure on it is going for high pressure in the North Atlantic, trying to get up towards, certainly getting to Iceland, trying to get towards Greenland, trough low pressure, Scandinavia. That's not all that far away from the CFS V2 and could start to pull in some cold air from the north. With that, the temperature anomaly for August, September, October, so through to early to mid-autumn, is around normal. Not particularly exciting for temperatures, and it does look a little bit unsettled as well through this early autumn period. But I think it's really the mean cell pressure anomaly with that ridge away to the northwest trying to get to Greenland that looks quite interesting. Right, so that's it for your sneak peek for autumn 2021. We're off and running then. So the summer forecast, as I say, has been released. The long-range bandwagon is rolling on. Autumn is our next season of updates. No autumn updates update next week, though, because next week we've got the winter 21-22 NEO forecast. Very special day. Biggest day of the year, perhaps, at GavsWeatherVids, or certainly up there with them. Up there with the biggest days at GavsWeatherVids. So next week is special day, winter 21-22 NEO forecast. Means that the first autumn forecast will be, or first autumn update will be in 2 weeks' time. On Sunday, the 13th of June, that's when we will begin the countdown to another season of long-range updates, this time autumn 2021. So I shall see you then, because lots coming up before then. And we've got live stream in a couple of hours' time. So I'm going to see you at 6. No doubt we'll be discussing this sneak peek for autumn. I'm sure the summer forecast will come up as well, and we'll have a chat, we'll have a bit of a laugh, and we'll do some long range as well, and we'll just hang out for an hour or so here on YouTube from 6 o'clock. So I'll see you then. But for the autumn 2021 sneak peek, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.